Okay, so I did a thing. I had no idea, and I had no real plan, and I had no idea how it was going to turn out. But it was definitely interesting, so let me tell you what happened. A friend of mine, Mike, I play beer league hockey with him on Thursday nights. He runs a bar. Comes up to me at center ice before the game starts and says, "Hey, I got this pool tournament I want to run. Could you write me some software for it?" And I'm like, I don't know if I got time. But hey, why don't you go home, send me the best spec you can, and I'll feed it to AI and see what comes out. And if it's a total failure, then you'll just have to use paper to run your bar tournament. So he goes home and he writes down 2 pages of handwritten notes on a yellow pad, a spreadsheet that kind of captures what the user interface looks like, and a note that says the tournament is Sunday at 1 p.m. Now, normally, that's the kind of thing where you go, yeah, that's not possible, right? Why, whatever. So I thought, at the same time, this is actually a perfect experiment about AI. There's all this talk about vibe coding, You just talk to AI, it writes everything, and you don't really need to know how to program anymore. I don't believe that, but I thought, hey, I do know how to program, but let's just try what vibe coding is like if you know what you're doing. It's a great challenge. So I decided I'm going to build this thing with as much AI as possible. Use ChatGPT to figure out what that system even is, Cursor AI to write and debug the code, and me just kind of along for the ride, listening and talking and translating things from other people into the AI system. Not writing everything from scratch, not even me being responsible for everything, and not just blindly accepting everything that the AI gives me. But then I made it a little harder on myself, or more fun, depending on how you look at it. I didn't do it sitting nicely in my office. I didn't have enough free time to start doing that. So I decided to start the whole thing on Saturday morning at a hockey rink. My son is out on the hockey rink playing wheelchair floor hockey, and I'm sitting in the lobby with my laptop with spotty Wi-Fi, trying to figure this thing out, talking to ChatGPT, building the system from scratch, and I have an hour because he's going to come out after his game in an hour and we've got somewhere else to go. Somehow, actually 30 minutes in, I end up with rough working code. I barely understood what the problem was. ChatGPT wrote me the first version, and the rest of the hour I sort of cleaned it up, and by the end, before we left, I put it up online and I sent a link to Mike. And then Brent and I go to another hockey game. We drive another hour and a half back to East Lansing and go to the Michigan State, Ohio State hockey game, in the Big Ten playoff hockey game. And so I come home from that hockey game at like 10:30 at night, and I get a note from Mike. And he said, "I tested it. How about these 4 changes?" And I'm like, okay, I'll just copy and paste your 4 changes into AI and see what happens. And AI kind of understood his changes because AI understood what we were doing. And then I update the production instance and I send Mike a note. I say, this might not be ready, and I go to bed. So the next morning, I play hockey myself, 8 to 10 o'clock. And then I take a short nap, and at 1 o'clock, I wake up to a text. Mike sends me a bunch of pictures. He says, your software is great. We're using it. They spent the morning testing it, and it worked well enough to start the tournament, and they even got through round 2. So I figure I better go. I better show at the bar with my laptop, just in case something breaks. In the second episode, you are with me as I walk into the bar, and the tournament is actually happening. By now, we're at round 5. There are real people, well over $1,000 of real prize money, shouting and clapping, a big screen with my software running on it, and no real plan B. And of course, just when I get my grilled cheese sandwich for lunch, it breaks. So now I go up to the front, sitting in a bar with a laptop, fixing bugs, listening to the people running the system, while the players are actively using the system, taking suggestions from the players, taking suggestions from Mike, taking suggestions from the person running the tournament, taking the suggestions from the person who designed the tournament, translating them into AI prompts, and then pushing code and moving it into production, and we refresh the bar screen. Of course, all along, I hope I don't completely destroy the tournament. but it worked. We made it through the tournament. It was a way better piece of software by round 10 than it was at round 5 when I walked in. It's kind of cool because we were able to just upload it and reload. I didn't change the database model much, and it was building automatic migrations. But then I come back home to this office and I look at what I've built. In the third episode, I actually add a few more features, not that many. And it's, at that point, I have a really good understanding of what it's supposed to do. And I go, blah, 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 and it does it. And it's like neat. Like it was highlighting the winning scores and stuff like that. And it turns out to be really easy. And then I sat down and I'm like, this has been an interesting, crazy weekend. 4 total hockey games between my son and I. Total work on code, probably about 6 hours at 3 different locations. And so this series is that whole journey, start to finish. No scripting, no polishing, no looking at it in advance and then making a cool script. I just built it, we broke it, we fixed it, and then cleaned it up. And along the way, you can watch and ask the question, like, what does AI actually change about programming and what doesn't change at all? So that's the teaser. That's the setup. Let's go build something in a hockey rink lobby.